Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. So, as I said last time, I quickly juggled the cooldown on this area to quickly go to the den, kill the Great White Beast, get a very crappy yellow rustic sash, and I used that to upgrade the sledgehammer with the 3 red sockets that we found earlier to one that has 60% increased physical damage, and I rolled something extra on it and it turned out to be accuracy, which, well, actually it's not a superfluous luxury, 84% chance to hit. I probably should at this point grab versatility. Just take a little bit of time to grab versatility. Probably once I get barbarism, then the next 2 points are gonna go into versatility, just to get my accuracy up a little bit, to make it easier to hit enemies, because there's no point in boosting your damage if you're not actually hitting opponents. Yeah, well, 84% is not quite bad, but it could be worse. Also, we got Herald of Ash as a reward for saving Helena from Fidelitas the morning. And it is glorious. You already get the shockwaves for hitting enemies, but now you also get burning shockwaves for killing enemies. So there's just more AoE damage all around, and I don't know, for some reason I just really get happy from seeing all these nice explosions around things. So let's look for the Trial of Ascension here in Chamber of Sins level 2. Because that's the reason I stayed down here rather than moving on. After this we're gonna go into the Crypt. We're actually gonna solve the Crypt entirely, kill the boss at the end, and get the jewel. But more importantly, we're gonna look for the Trial of Ascendancy there. And I think we found it over here. So let's listen. What does the monograph have to say?
The path to justice is slender and perfidious, fraught with missteps of ambition and despair, egotism and doubt. Should you choose this road, beware those who would waylay your hopes and disembowel your dreams. Remain sure and remain true.
Okay. Fortune cookie words. Ooh. Spinning discs of death and doom. Let's stand in one and see how much it hurts. Wow, they hurt. It's always good to intentionally test how much it hurts to, in a controlled situation, how much it hurts to get hit by one of those things. So that when it's not quite your plan, you know if you can tank it or not. Okay, so this one, we'll just run after it and then we just jump over. Oh. Well, the jumping over part almost worked. There's a switch here. Probably opens a door somewhere. Oh. Closes the door behind me. That didn't feel very smart. I wanted to kill those guys. Here. Taste my fiery wrath. Right. So we go through. Open this and then... Slightly stumped how this could be a good idea. Probably need to do it later. Just duck and weave. Hey, this is like the mapping device. I'll switch. We locked the door behind us again. Why would we do that, I wonder? Interesting. Maybe it is to teach you that not all levers are useful. Or if you are playing with friends, that you can just annoy the heck out of friends by locking them in or something. I don't know.
There is a fine line between consideration and hesitation. The former is wisdom, the latter is fear.
Okay. So that all choices are created equally, but we solved the trial, so that means we're done here. Let's move out. Picked up one whole thing that is worth a chromatic. So
travel far.
Dump that into the stash, and then move on to the crypts. which is going to be east of the crossroads. Aha, we actually hit the last one. Fellshrine Ruins. So, it's a bit quiet here. Where's all the undead? Ah, there. Perandus chest, kind of ghostly touched. It seems we killed enough even before killing all of them. Ooh, 4, 4 and 1, that's 11 coins. Let's see, salad, that's rare. Like rares, you can sell them. Undead are rising, let's give them a totem. And we move on. It's too bad that there's only like 2 or 3 coming out of the ground at the same time rather than large groups. This build so likes big groups. A chest, always good to grab. It might contain something useful. Hey, blues. Okay. And another Perandus cache. Good. I approve of those things. So there seem to be numerous swirls around the chest. And I'm quite sure if they're just... I think they're just effects to highlight it. And I think the cool. That is the thing we were looking to buy earlier. Actually. I recognize the graphic. Axiom Perpetuous. That's pretty cool. And I think this is actually a better one because it says it has 136% increased critical strike chance rather than only about 100. So definitely worth doing these strong boxes because they contain the new uniques. This one has decent armor. Doesn't boost our damage by 20% though. Greater mana, that's still what we're using. So let's continue. So how many coins do we have? 88. It's a good thing that the maximum stack size of those coins is 1,000, because I have been reading reports of players that said that some uniques they found cost 3,500, for example. On the other hand, also found reports of like 300. Hey, kill a possessed monster. Also, blue rustic sash. Worth picking up. And then we run with our bismuth empowered speed. Probably not in the entire region I should have it, but hey, it's extra movement speed. And it's resistances, and well, I need resistances. Okay, so level 1 here actually has the trial of Ascendancy, which is good. I feel they could have done that as well for the Chamber of Sins, because normally the Chamber of Sins level 1 doesn't actually have a purpose except to lead you to level 2. So if they add the trial there, then both level 1 and level 2 have a highlight rather than level 2 having 2 highlights.
Over here, Exile.
Hello, Tora. Barely missed the last one. Hello. So, hunt down the infected beasties. using scattered pools of blood. Yeah, this way. So a bit earlier, while heading towards the den, I found a Catherine. So she's now a regular part of the crew. And yesterday evening I started a Scion, just because I eventually want to mess around a bit with the multi-soul ascendancy of hers.
Thank you,
that
my
would be a good one to
ancestors.
start with.
I will repay your gift.
And I found Elrion on her, so I've seen all the bosses I can so far. Let's see, I was gonna grab Barbarism, and then we're gonna get Versatility. Yeah, die spider, die! Okay, he was actually burning. He probably would have burned entirely if I hadn't been impatient and just wanted to kill him now. Chestplate is what I'm using, but it is a
cannot carry this.
white one with 3 linked sockets. On the other hand, the level on these things is pretty low, isn't it? Yeah, it's level 6. So there should be better stuff dropping. So let's not actually take the effort of picking it up and then enchanting it. I was considering using an Orb of Alchemy to make it into a rare, but I could probably do that with a more level appropriate armor. That's gonna protect me even more. Probably gain double the armor from it. So 4, 3, 3, 1, that's 11. Greater mana, still got those mallets, that's actually what I'm using, aren't I? No, sledgehammer. Oh, but here, copper plate, that's what I was talking about. But I want a 3 link and I don't actually want to take the effort of linking it, so we'll just wait, we'll find it eventually. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I made my loot filter so strict. Because eventually you will find the things with 3 and 4 links there, that's just inevitable. So it might take you a bit longer to get the specific type of item, but then when you do see it, it will be good. Okay. Yeah, that's the chest plate I was not looking for. Hello there, spiders. Also, one of the nice side effects of doing the Torah mission here is that I'm gonna do a full clear, or roughly. So that has a increased chance of helping me find the Trial of Ascendancy. And that's it's there. Well, I like how over time they have added more and more things into the game that reward you for exploring as much of the game as possible. I mean, I don't believe I've set many feet into the catacombs, for example, in Act 3. But now that there is a Trial of Ascendancy there, everybody is suddenly forced to go there if they want their skill points. So that basically it adds areas to the game that previously were there but weren't there at the same time because people didn't go there. Also, let's empty our pockets and then carry on. So we'll just do the simple thing of just ditching everything into the box. Ooh, 99 coins. $99 coins of Perandus on a wall. Or was it bottles of beer? I always get the two confused. Monograph.
Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty.
As I keep saying, this is fortune cookie level wisdom. Oh, they look spiky. So, doors have an icon on the minimap. Levers have an icon on the minimap, also on the big map actually. Ow. Okay. So let's go back to full health. Okay, so they're on a rail. We need to get there probably to open this door, and then we have a switch here. It's gonna open other things. So let's just walk behind it, I suppose. I like how there's also just gear wheels sticking out on the floor there. Okay. Presumably that opened the door. No, you can't use leap slam to jump over things. Presumably there is a ceiling here. You just don't see it, because otherwise it would be very hard to play your character if you couldn't see where you were going. You can't go by, so we have to go through. So this is where movement skills are probably gonna come in handy. Or just the ability to tank a little bit of damage. So once you're in the labyrinth itself, you cannot leave. If you use portals, you forfeit that run of the labyrinth and you get reset to the beginning, I think. If you can even open up portals at all. Might also be possible that you just simply cannot do that. So having health regeneration and good flask management seems useful. Okay. Okay. Just get a feel, but really they stick out and they do pointy nasty things. Wow, they hurt. They definitely hurt. Yeah, health really goes down quickly, but it's not bleeding, it's just damage over time as you are standing in it. There's a lever here, as you can see. Or a switch. And then some guys at the end. Here, have totem. Okay, that was not strictly necessary. Just kill them. And then
Shine boldly, so that all may find you when the night falls.
keep saying it, man. They bought a very big box of fortune cookies. There's probably a lot of deep wisdom in them if you meditate on the words. Torah. Let's leave the realm of spiritual wisdom and go back to the earthly activity of just simply butchering lots of living things. Ooh, added fire damage. And we butchered them all. So, let's see, back to Torah, that was this path. This might have been the second encounter with Torah, actually. Not entirely sure. Probably could have taken the path over there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, level 2. Skeletons and a razor. There's a radar. Ho 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 ho. Gather around and collectively lose your lives. This is a rather mazy feel to it this time. Ooh, Grand Life, that's bigger and better than before. So let's put the totem down. Help deal with all the enemies, especially with the things that get too close. Haha, I am now the master of lightning. I accidentally picked up a light brigandine, that's not what I'm going for. It has evasion on it, I cannot evade. Come on, give me the goat's horn. Yes, thank you. So far, in regular gameplay, this build is turning out to be as safe as it can be. A very high life pool, good armor. I mean, even though I'm poorly equipped, I still got 40% physical damage mitigation. And life regen is up to 30.4 right now. Doing quite a bunch of damage, and with a melee weapon I'm doing damage at range, so most enemies don't even get the opportunity to hit me, because I just kill them when I see them at the edge of the screen. Totem serves as a very good decoy. It's only the trials where, traps don't care about totems. That's where things get more creative. Let's see, my hit chance is, just the basic hit chance is 83. Boost accuracy a little bit, 84, yay. So, versatility is where things will start to shine. Ruby ring, don't think I have one of those yet. So eventually I'll have to sacrifice a little bit of damage and life in order to gain some resistances to just help keep me alive against monsters that do elemental damage. But for the rest we're doing pretty good. And most importantly, this build is actually quite a lot of fun. It's very, very satisfying seeing just monsters explode. So, if I were the boss, where would I hide? Grand Life, cool, that's another one. Sledgehammer, well, that's what I'm using. Always pays off to just have a look what it does. 42% increased physical damage, that's not quite bad as a built-in modifier. But it's not as good as what I currently have. So it just goes into the box. I try to keep interesting gear, decent gear for while you are leveling in my stash. So if something unfortunate happens to my character and I have to make a rebuild, then I'll have gear for most levels while leveling up, so I can focus more on just getting ahead and less time on crafting good gear and things like that. It's the same with just hand-me-down gear. All the gear that I grow out of goes into the storage box, into my stash. And will be there for future characters. And eventually it will just roll over into the regular hardcore league stash. Another Perandus thing, another 10 coins. Tribal Molder was one of the very first ones, right? Yeah, no level requirement. 109 coins, and we have reached the end of our journey. Hello there, Bishop. Joffrey the Abased. You are very dead. Oh, you actually were dead. I mean, you're like a mummy, I believe. But now you're deader than dead. Larger than life. Or something along those lines. Let's see, ground mana. Just bring it. Anything interesting here that's worth picking up? Good. Side room. Always has usually has an interesting monster concentration, so it's worth taking out after the boss fight. And then that is it. Let's see in town what we get for all our troubles. So far we've solved 3 out of 6 trials of Ascendancy.
Tender.
Let's see, what do we want on this character? Extra physical damage and armor. Very well in line with what we are doing. Elemental resistances and dexterity feels kinda meh. And 3 mana and 10% increased elemental damage is nice, but mana issues are not really the issues we have. So let's go for survivability and damage. Cool. And with that, we have reached the end of this episode. So we have now solved everything there is to solve on this side of town. So next episode, we're gonna go towards the west. Reopen the door back to Act 1, grab our skill point, have a very short date with Alira. It's not going to be pleasant. Spider Queen, get the spike. And I think that's going to actually unlock a number of skills at Yina once we grab Maligaro's spike and have talked to Silk. And after that, of course, we move on. Oak, get extra life, and then it's going to be the boss fight. So 1 or 2 episodes, and then I think we will be in Act 3. So I'll looking very much forward to that. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.